Learn Astrology by Shelley Overton, now available as an ebook at angeliczodiac.com.
Hello, and welcome to the Astroenergy Astrology Show podcast with astrologer Shelley Overton.
Hello, friends. Welcome back to the Astroenergy Show podcast. My name is Shelley Overton, and I'm here in Orlando, Florida, to give you all the good information on astrology this week. We are going to talk a little bit about what's going on and maybe touch on other connections to astrology that will help people who are just learning astrology understand it a little bit better. But first, I want to say, I'm going to get out of the way. Isn't this an amazing photo? It is the NASA's James Webb Space Telescope. I'm reading to get it right. This is an amazing shot of our existence out there in space. So it's pretty awesome. I'm in the way there. Look at all those stars. So cool. Just in case you were wondering, anyone can use this particular photo. It is public domain, copyright free, which is always awesome for astrologers because we love space photos. Anyway, if you get a chance, go over to NASA, check it out. They've been really talking a lot about it lately in the news. And I'm just amazed and stunned, and I love it all. I love looking at space and finding out all about it. Okay, we had a really cute, wonderful chart that we were going to use, but they don't put the numbers on the planet, so I can't use it, but I might show it to you briefly in the intro here. Anyway, let's get on with what's going on in the sky today. So we have Sun at 23 degrees Cancer, right next to Mercury. So that means that Mercury and the Sun are next to each other, which is an energy called combust. And I've got these really cute little planets that I bought at a hobby store. And I want to kind of get them into, oh, and there's no moon. Okay, well, this will help anyway. So basically we've got, where's Mercury? Mercury, where'd you go? There you are, so small. So Mercury and the Sun. You can't do it because I've got this behind me. Okay, anyway, we're going to try it this way, right in front of me. Sun and Mercury, they're right next to each other. When they get next to each other and on each other, basically it's like that you don't feel the energy of Mercury as an independent energy or entity. You feel it combined, probably more accurately like that they are basically one and the same of energy, but Mercury is our thought, Sun is our ego, sense of self. And because the two are together in the sky, as you see here in the chart, they are affecting us in the area of Cancer. Cancer is the sign ruled by the moon. It is domesticity, things that associate with the home and family, nurturing, and the structure of the family. And it is security, seeking to be connected through emotions, and also expressing through the environment that we live in. And so our thoughts are very wrapped up in security and being with those we love right now. And directly opposite is Pluto, which I've got it. It's not exactly accurate. Pluto has a heart shape on it right there. But anyway, Pluto, here's the Sun. They're not size relevant. Pluto's probably more like a dime compared to this. It's just itty bitty. Anyway, Pluto's way out away. You can't do it. I guess I can't do it. Oh well, that kind of sucks because I wanted to use them. Maybe another day when I have no background, we'll use some of the planets. Anyway, Pluto's opposite the Sun right now, and that means they're almost exact. So they're about 4 days apart from an exact opposition, which means early next week, the Sun, being ego, is going to really resist the energy of authority. And I mean, I didn't watch this week's hearings, but I can almost guarantee next week, if there is a hearing, It will be highly contentious, not that it isn't already. I saw a snippet. It's going to be tremendously contentious because what we know as stable and supportive is being challenged. And part of that energy is not just Pluto, but Venus is coming into square with Jupiter as she gets closer to Cancer. So the desires are being challenged as well. And women's, I guess, points of view are being challenged as well. Jupiter at 8 degrees Aries wants freedom. First and foremost, the ego is very strongly connected to Aries too. And so having Jupiter at 8 degrees of Aries is going to really trigger that Venus, especially when she gets into Cancer, because then it feels like she's in her moody emotional side and Jupiter's in the aggressive masculine energy of Aries. And he's not as concerned about what Venus wants when they're squaring each other. And that means that women are going to need to be in their own power, but recognize they're going to be challenged in that power by the male energy. Chiron being only 8 degrees away from Jupiter as well means that the storyline of being wounded in your male energy or by the male energy is accented because Jupiter expands. And as it gets closer as an energy to that Chiron, it's going to really be noticeable. And I think the storyline that comes out in is racism and aggression, male aggression, violence, gun violence. All right. Anyway, Jupiter right near Chiron is just accenting the energy of all these things and really bringing it to our awareness. And because any planet that transits in opposition, square, in conjunct, that's 30 degrees apart or 150 degrees apart, you're going to feel the energy. Having a conjunction, again, with Jupiter is expansive. So we are really going to be going through it as we continually see Jupiter very close by. Of course, Jupiter does go backwards and go away from this energy. He actually retrogrades the end of the month around the 27th. So we have until roughly 8 degrees and 42 minutes for that energy to be influencing us. And then he goes retrograde all the way back into Pisces. And so we're going to have Jupiter in Pisces for some of the year as well. Coming up, we're going to have a Venus square Jupiter in Cancer, and Venus, feminine women, desire, money, love, receptivity, all things associated with Venus, the goddess of love. And in Cancer, mothers, children, family, home, connectedness, feeling like we belong to a family group is going to be challenged by that independent nature. Jupiter's been there for a while. And of course, this month Jupiter's direct. So he's really hitting, feeling that aggressive energy as he retrogrades. It kind of takes the sails, the wind out of his sails a little bit. And so he's going to go back to try and understand more of the emotionalism in Pisces. But when Jupiter retrogrades at the end of the month, it'll act more like Saturn. And that's a really big time for hitting the gun violence and the racism and all the issues that come out, male issues. I hate harping on those so much because Aries energy can be really sincere. It can be very creative. It can be seeking to build and construct. And they are the physical construction workers of the zodiac. They are the emergency workers of the zodiac. So there's a tremendous amount of positive energy that does come out of Aries and the masculine association with Mars. So we're not even going to qualify that anyway whatsoever. There is a lot of good to be had under Martian energy. But anyway, moving on, we have Mars itself in Taurus. So it's bringing an awakening of drive for love and to fulfill desire, to create currency and growth and value And as Mars makes his way closer to Uranus, he's going to get more erratic. He's going to be more focused on the sciences. He's going to probably speak his truth and say what he understands to be true. And that's going to be helpful and also hindering to Uranian energy, because Uranus is really volatile as an entity. It is very quantum, and that means that energy and information comes from many different sources, not necessarily logical and linear. And so when Mars joins up with Uranus, it's going to accent that erraticism. It will put more aggression into, well, let's just review the energy that they're in. They're in Taurus, and that's plants and nature. It's baking and cooking and tactile understanding of the outside world. It is understanding material goods, retail. And so Mars in Taurus is going to be a really good quarter for retail sales. Uranus, again, right now I know Uranus and the cryptocurrency storyline is really getting hit, but Uranus, I believe, is retrograde right now. Let me double check that. No, Uranus is not retrograde until late August. So probably after the 1st of August, he'll start to slow down, and we'll feel the energy a bit more with digging in. And so, of course, when Uranus goes retrograde, it means there's a readjustment to be had. So right now, as he is square to Saturn, it's much more about the restriction. And we talked about this, Saturn in Aquarius, and today Moon is in Aquarius. And so there's a double connection to that square with Uranus and the North Node. That being said, I would absolutely say Uranus North Node conjunction square Moon Saturn conjunction today is going to be a tremendous shift of energy to understanding, to awareness of the ideology around anything. It can be mostly technology and weather and alternative lifestyles, alternative ideas, alternative solutions, and detachment. It is alternative. For thinking that Aquarius is opposite Leo, Leo's children, it is alternatives for children. So that's why it tends to rule adoption. Moon, home, family, Saturn. So what's happening here is Moon is mom, and Saturn is historically the patriarchy. And so the two together are kind of like combining to try and understand a way to create stability and security. And because they are squaring Uranus North Node, that stability comes in the form of currency, technology, the food we eat. So the Mars energy, I've noticed even in my own family, food is becoming even more of a theme because we are not eating well. I mean, I eat kind of what is around me with the people I live with. And that's a lot of processed food. Even though I'm vegan, it's a lot of processed food, and that tends to, really upset the body. So it's not really good to, eat that. And because Mars is joining with the chemistry and chemical connection to Uranus in Taurus food, we are seeing how we are eating these kind of foods that really have a strong chemical makeup that may not really be good for us and treat us well. And part of that storyline is also a trine to Pluto in late degrees of Capricorn, because Capricorn rules the body. And so the combination of a square with Saturn and the Moon is trying to force the issue of change, because Uranus, of course, is very much about change in our lives, change in our thinking. Saturn is reinforcing, hey, you need to look at this. You're not paying attention. I'm kind of giving up coffee on and off, and I really enjoy it for that kind of buzz, that blissful love feeling that you get when you haven't had it in a while. And so I had some yesterday, really enjoyed drinking. It was, a sweet little treat. But in the evening, I got jittery, I got edgy. My digestion was really affected because I felt hungry constantly, even though that's not my normal way of being. Having the caffeine increase your metabolism really makes you aware of your hunger, and it does enforce that hunger because you're like burning more calories. Um, anyway, so really being more aware of what we put into our body, what we ingest, is going to be a very strong storyline with this, along with banking, retail, and I'm kind of tuning in to see what else I can pick up there. Yeah, and Mars coming in a little over 10 days. Oh no, yeah, Mars, I'm sorry, I was confusing it there for a second with Jupiter. Mars joining up with Uranus is going to really, I think part of what it's going to do, and we've discussed this August 1st energy, is going to make us, as far as diet, very aware, like in a clear way, like cleaning the clutter, cleaning house way of what really our actions bring to us. Because I think even though Saturn is karmic, Uranus is kind of a universal understanding. And so Mars gets information from the universe, from the collective, and expresses it in very pure ideology. And so we're going to really see come August 1st where that energy is taking us and how it's going to manifest in our diets, in our food cycle, in growth of money and growth of love, in nurturing, in the family, in our careers. Our careers are definitely being affected by this energy, and the money we make from careers. Now, Saturn moon conjunct in Aquarius is all about autonomy and doing, like, the desire from the moon, the need for security, coupled with Saturn, is really trying to concretize where we're going. And in Aquarius, it is independent, freedom loving, and very much entrepreneurial. And so we are heading that way. It's going to be even more accented with Pluto going in next year. But having this energy in Saturn, it's in conjunct right now to the Mercury. Well, Mercury's at 21, Saturn's at 23. Mercury 21 Cancer, Saturn at 23 Aquarius. The sun today on Friday is in conjunct to Saturn and the moon. And so we're seeing this awakening around how our careers and life purposes are affecting the home life and the family life and how we think. So our thoughts are going to be a little bit more around that security and a little bit more concerned or worried even. Trine to Venus is going to connect to Saturn moon conjunction as well today. And so the trine is going to be, it's interesting because it's in an air energy, both signs, Gemini and Aquarius air, but trines are going to bring up a really strong emotional connection. So my guess is this is going to have something to do with a clarifying understanding around children and pets. There could be some issues coming up with pets that relate to even the Uranian storyline, because Uranus and the North Node are in conjunct by 30 degrees on the other side. So Venus in Gemini 27, Uranus 18, North Node 20. There is an in conjunct. So it's going to be a storyline, Venus to Uranus. And then the other way, the trine bringing out the emotionalism of Venus to Saturn moon is going to really strongly involve children, possibly female children, and education, which is Gemini. Let me see. There's not really a square to Jupiter in that regard. Jupiter is just past a square because it's 8 degrees in to Aries. If it were in Pisces, it'd be squaring Venus. But anyway, yeah, that Jupiter probably, as Venus goes into Cancer, Jupiter is going to be more of an issue there. Okay, so the theme in the storyline is going to be growth cycle for sure. This is life-changing growth cycle. Life, North Node, changing North Node, and Uranus, both of them. Saturn digging into that need for freedom, Uranus digging in for that need for freedom associated with money, which is cryptocurrency. I'm telling you, it's not a done deal. They are dropping like flies, and that is as it's meant to be. So, yeah. Anyway, I think that's pretty much a 25-degree Neptune, which is squaring Venus today and in the next couple days. So just look for that. Venus square Neptune, really strong energy around desire, vision, women, receptive, psychic, emotional. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely the Roe v. Wade issue, and it is also Uvalde somewhat with that because it's school and education and emotionalism. So there's a lot of deep emotional women, feminine issues coming up right now because of that Neptune square Venus. I wrote down this week's astrology and what we can expect. It's a lot. I like doing this. I actually did it to help with the week and keep myself focused and not, try and look over every single thing because there are a lot. And I'll just give you an example. See, over here, all these are aspects. And if you multiply that, by next week's as well, right here, it's a lot. So I'm just trying to focus a little bit more. Friday the 15th, Moon joined with Saturn. So I've got also Venus and Gemini in conjunct Pluto. It's going to be communication, intellect. So women and their communications, and maybe even how they reason through things or end up at a logical conclusion, can be criticized through authority figures. And then there's an Aquarius moon trining Venus and Gemini, which just kind of drives home that same point that there is an emotional component to the intellectual validation that women are feeling. So Saturday, the moon enters Pisces, which is going to make it a bit emotional, and that's at 4:18 a.m. So it's super early, that's Eastern. And moon in Pisces, always hearkening back to the past, finding people that are coming back in to our day-to-day lives for some kind of emotional connection or storyline. It is seeking information of the past through vintage and archives. We've got Sun and Mercury joined in Cancer. Again, like I said, it's called combust, and that happens at 3:38 p.m. Eastern, 12:38 p.m. Pacific. And that means that we are not going to let people challenge our intellect when it comes to the home life. Moon in Pisces, sextile to Mars in Taurus, again, growing, growth cycle, nurturing at home. It's also very solitary and sensitive, so be aware of that. On Sunday the 17th, the Venus energy enters Cancer at 9:32 p.m. That means mom home until August 11th when the moon is full and Venus goes into Leo, which is going to be a really interesting time. We've got super emotional with moon in Pisces, trining Mercury in Cancer. That's overnight. It's going to be feelings and again, someone from the past. On Monday, overnight is going to be a little bit more difficult. It's overly sensitive overnight, but that's a good time to sleep. Moon in Pisces. And then we have Mercury opposite Pluto in the morning, early 3:01 a.m. Eastern. And so, something may happen, information may come out overnight with that opposition. And then as the moon enters Aries in the morning, and I would not even be surprised if the moon opposite Pluto on Monday is going to bring to light some storyline around violence against a mom. And then as the moon goes into Aries, first thing in the morning, 7:17 a.m. And that's Eastern, 4:17 a.m. Pacific. Moon enters Aries. That's when we are also in that energy. Moon square Venus in Cancer. Again, that like Mercury in Cancer opposite Pluto in Capricorn, that is like an authority figure opposite someone whose mind is around what's going on with mom, but opposed to death, dying in a physical form. That's why I connected that. Then you've got the moon in Aries at 8:15 a.m. squaring Venus in Cancer. So moon in Aries, aggressive, squaring Venus, feminine desire, representation of mom in Cancer. And then the moon joins up with Jupiter, which again, Jupiter's transformation transition. The energy all day Monday is very much tantrums with the Aries energy and nurturing mom, and connection to Cancer is mom, connection to Mars, the moon mom is in Aries. So there's basically a projection going on when we have planets kind of in a sign that it's reinforced through other aspects. So you've got an aggressive energy of Pluto, which is the warrior in Capricorn, the authority figure. So mom and dad are authority figures. And you have Mercury in Cancer right there before sunrise on Monday. Mercury and Cancer, our thinking aligns with mom, but then the moon, which was in Pisces and sensitive to it and receptive feminine, moves into the aggressive masculine Aries and the drive and wants to throw a tantrum, and then immediately squares Venus in Cancer, which is mom, and then followed within a couple hours by moon in Aries conjunct to Jupiter. So there is a confrontation, there is a cooperation on some level, and there's also a confrontation and a transformation. So having the emotionalism of moon in Aries, so it's a tantrum around being a mom. I'm sick of this behavior from you. And honestly, moms are wanting more freedom. It is about children and maybe feeling a little bit more aggravated with kids than normal on Monday. Then Tuesday, Chiron retrograde. So Chiron is an asteroid, now dwarf planet. Thank you, astronomers. That over the course of the year and a half that it's spent in its sign, it goes direct and retrograde like any planet does. And so it will actually be retrograde through the end of the year. It just goes retrograde. Let's see. Oh, it'll go through December, roughly 22nd. So Chiron retrograde means that there is a reevaluation of how we were wounded, of the humanities, because the humanities are part of what Chiron rules. So acting and developing yourself through poetry or reading or literature and music, classical music, I would even put in there. So as Chiron retrogrades, then kind of going the a similar energy moving towards Jupiter. Definitely Chiron in Aries is going to give us a more enhanced storyline around the male dominance vibration. Okay, that's Tuesday. And then also, by the way, I'm just going to do a little shout out to one of my clients, one of my best clients. Courtney is one of my clients. She just got accepted to Love Island, which is a TV show on Peacock, comes out July 19th. And the day Chiron retrogrades on July 19th, she got on Love Island, which is the day it debuts. So if you get a chance, tune into Love Island and give Courtney some encouragement. She's awesome. She's going to go through a huge career blow up right now. That's kind of the thing we're focused on mostly with Pluto in her chart. Okay, Wednesday, new ideas from moon in Aries squaring Pluto. We've got, again, gun violence, racism, slavery, aggression, fires. As we get closer and closer to the energy of Leo, fires are going to be even more prevalent. Heat, hot days. Moon enters Taurus 2:23 p.m. on the 20th. And that's going to mean that, of course, we're looking for financial stability, but there is a square to Mercury in Leo. Leo's love gambling. So there's kind of a risk aversion to gambling for the moon in Taurus, which is at odds with taking like more risk with gambling from our mindset. It is children. And again, Aries was a very strong childlike energy, expressing out tantrums and don't tell me no, and I don't want to be restricted and told what to do. And that is moving into Taurus, but now Taurus is squaring Mercury in Leo, so we don't get rid of the fire energy or necessarily even the tantrum, but the tantrum grows up and becomes more drama. So we won't get to see a tremendous let up when the moon goes into Taurus, because immediately there's going to be that square to Mercury in Leo. And so it's going to be wanting that demure aesthetic where things are really solid and stable. And I always use the energy of Ralph Lauren to signify Taurus, because it is very estate, very aesthetic and grounded and old money kind of feel. And then you have Leo, which honestly is kind of like celebrity new money. if you see those two energies, that's really the energy on Wednesday, the 20th. And then immediately after, that was 8:19 p.m. when they square. Then at 9:17 p.m., the moon in Taurus sextiles Venus in Cancer. So we tamp down some of that intense drama and go back to our knowingness and our environment. And there's a disconnect with, oh, is it love? Anyway, a disconnect with a partner, because that is Venus is being in a couple and Leo is romance. And so that square is going to connect to that. Then after 9:17 p.m., we're much more calmed down, but also Leo rules friendships and siblings. So there could be something going on with them on the 20th. The 21st, Moon and Mars. So Moon, Mars conjunct in Taurus, and then Moon, Uranus conjunct. So new love, new home, unexpected things can happen. Anytime Uranus is involved, it can be explosions, but it is also chemistry, chemicals, and the food supply. So, but I see it more positive with the moon right there. But it is, the moon can also give us the storyline and culminate an answer to something. Okay, Friday next week, I'm going to give you a quick taste because we'll go over it again. Unexpected changes and alternatives when the moon Uranus conjunct overnight, 2:14 a.m. That is Eastern, 11:14 p.m. on the 21st, Thursday for Pacific. So the square with Saturn happens just after that at 12:18 p.m. Well, 12 hours later, 12:18 p.m. Eastern and 9:18 a.m. Pacific. And let's see, do I have any? So, moon square Saturn, it's going to be home versus career, and feminine women, mom versus paternalism and paternalist boss types. And then we have Moon, Neptune, practical about your dreams. Sun enters Leo on Friday. Moon enters Gemini overnight in the evening, 10:11 p.m. Pacific, and 1:11 a.m. on the 23rd, Saturday Eastern. I find that really interesting because the moon is in Gemini, which is 2 lines down with the 2 horizontal lines at 1:11. So it's Gemini and 1:11 all together on that day. So that could mean a significant thing with spirit coming in to tell us something. Dreams, definitely look at your dreams and what you dream about overnight from Friday the 22nd to the 23rd, Saturday. And then moon enters Gemini, moon sextile to the sun. Social, it's for leaders, kids, it's fun, it's relational, and it's chatty communication. So that's also transportation, it's the mail system, it's shipping, it's education, and siblings and small pets. So that's just kind of a collection. All right, I was going to talk a little bit about planets, but the one thing I did want to get to, and I don't want to get in deep right now because it's kind of running on, but I wanted to talk about how in astrology you have 12 zodiac signs and you have 10 planets and lights, and the lights are sun and moon. And so a couple of those, because there are 12 zodiac signs and they all have a rulership, that 2 of the planets, Venus and Mercury, do double duty on Gemini, Virgo for Mercury, and Venus rules over Libra and Taurus for those 2 signs. So we only have 10 planets and lights that we look at. We have many asteroids and dwarf planets that we can look into. But when you have the zodiac planet, the zodiac sign, and then the planets, you have a connection. You only have to really learn the archetype of one, and then say you learn all the archetypes of the planets, then learn which sign it rules, and now you have all the same archetype attributes that go along with the sign. So if you want, and you're new to astrology, I would research that. I do have a book I promoted at the beginning of this podcast, but it's called Learn Astrology. It's a guide for beginners. I tell you what, I will put a link below to how you can get that book. And it's on my website, but I'm having some glitches with my Angelic Zodiac site right now. And I'm not sure I can resolve it right away. So we'll see how it goes, but I will give the link below. So definitely click on the link to Learn Astrology, my ebook, and that will help guide you through some of these archetypes with each of the signs and each of the planets as they transit through each of the signs. Okay, that's all for this week. Thank you so much for joining me. please do comment, like, subscribe. And if you like the podcast, please do share it. And if you are so inclined to rate it, it's on Apple iTunes. You can rate it there. And I'm on so many platforms right now. I've got Player FM. I've got, like I said, Apple iTunes. I'm on Google Play. I'm on Apple Play, I suppose. Any of the usual suspect places you can find the podcast. So thank you for tuning in. I'm also on iHeartRadio, which I really like that. Anyway, you take care. Have a good week. And we'll see you glasses. Let me see. I can't read my writing. Hey, this is Shelley. I wanted to give you a heads up that there are a lot of new art prints at shelleyoverton.com. So go over there and check them out. SHELLEYOVERTON.com. Thanks.
Hi, this is Shelley. Thank you for joining us this week. To contact me for a private reading, go to angeliczodiac.com under the Readings tab. Background music was provided by Kevin MacLeod at incompetech.com. To purchase my ebook, Learn Astrology, you can find it at angeliczodiac.com, including discounts. Be sure to check back next week and subscribe through iTunes at Astro Energy Astrology Show.